I fell in love with Mario Tennis Aces, especially as a couch co-op game. There was something about sitting next to your mates, screaming over ridiculous rallies, pulling off clutch trick shots, just worked. So when Mario Tennis Fever was announced, I was genuinely excited. Not because I expected a revolutionary game, but because I wanted something fresh and something exciting. A new Mario Tennis game I could boot up with friends and instantly have a good time. But did Mario Tennis Fever live up to that expectation? Let's talk about it. But before we do, consider dropping a like and maybe subscribing. But if you only care about the end result, please feel free to skip to the end. It should be chaptered out on YouTube. I won't feel offended. But if you're feeling extra generous, maybe consider leaving the video on in another tab or in the background. Just helps out a small creator like myself. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about base mechanics. If you played Mario Tennis Aces, you'll remember how technical that game could get. Energy management, zone shots, positioning, it was pretty deep, sometimes intimidatingly so. Fever shifts away from that. The mechanics are simpler, cleaner, and more accessible, and I actually really appreciate that. It means I can hand the controller to a non-gamer friend and not feel like I need to spread my nerd juice all over them. I played with 3 friends, each of which had different experiences with the franchise, and it didn't take long for them to really get into it. The Fever rackets are the main gimmick, and they're goofy, strategic, funky fun. Each one shifts how you approach rallies, and there's a really nice spread of rackets and characters to mix and match to find your own style. The available rackets are able to launch attacks or give you buffs, which is fantastic. And the ability to hit an opponent's offensive ability back at them makes the rallies even more intense. Experimentation feels fun instead of frustrating. I played a lot of Spike with either the Shadow racket or the Metal racket. In my time playing, I haven't seen the entire play base gravitate to one single dominant playstyle, which is always a good sign. If anything, I've seen that a lot of character types match up nicely to others. As a power player, I feel good going against speedy characters, but tricky and technical can give me a bit of a run for my money. Let's go through the modes. You've got Adventure, Tournament, Trial Towers, Free Play, Mix It Up, Swing Mode, and the various online modes. It's a healthy lineup, on paper, which we'll get into later. In regards to characters, compared to Aces, we've got a strong roster available from launch, and you unlock characters through different modes, which I always prefer. It gives you goals, it gives gameplay purpose. The only brand new additions are Baby Wario, Baby Waluigi, Baby Luigi, Nabbit, and Goomba. And maybe Baby Peach? I can't remember if Baby Peach is in the other ones. Oh well, don't quote me on that. Look, no groundbreaking additions, but still fun inclusions, and the massive character selection is always welcome. For the context of the review, I like to talk about my personal playtime. I played just over 10 hours, 150 matches of tennis. I beat the adventure mode, I completed all the single tournaments, cleared every trial tower, finished all the mix-up modes on intermediate difficulty, and played a heavy amount of online matches. I will say I did find this game quite hard to play in large sittings. I could mainly get between 1 to 2 hours each play session before getting a bit bored, which isn't surprising, nor is it really a bad thing with these types of games. Now, let's talk about what I like about this game. Easy first thing to say, I really like the core gameplay, which is the most important thing. Matches are fun without requiring overwhelming system knowledge, but at higher levels, the skill ceiling feels genuinely deep. I believe it's in a nice sweet spot. The skill ceiling is really only explored in player versus player content. The NPCs are okay, they kind of just have survivability, but playing online, I could get thrashed. And it wasn't because of broken builds. I would do mirror matches and just get destroyed purely based on my placement of the court, which is good. It's nice that it's not about build. It's nice that there's plenty to learn, but it's also nice that it's not hard just to pick up and play. Pair that with the Fever rackets, which they're amazing. I'll be honest, even when even when a racket feels borderline busted and it's really annoying, I can either counterplay it by smashing the Fever shot back, or if it's a passive ability, I can play around it, track their Fever bar, try and counterplay when I can. I love it. For example, there'd be times when people were using the shove racket, and I'd be playing a slow power character, so they'd shove me back against the court, and then they would just do a drop shot, which was really annoying. So I thought, okay, you know what I'll do? I'll use the golden dash mushroom racket thing that lets you zip across the field. And against those matches, I did really well. Didn't mean I did well all the time, but it was just a way that I could counterplay it if I was encountering them a lot. Some honorable mentions as well. I really enjoyed Trial Towers. This one surprised me. It's got these like short, goofy, creative challenges. It doesn't really overstay its welcome. And once you complete all 3, you can go back and replay each of the individual missions in said Trial Tower. And then you can complete them to get higher scores. The Mix It Up modes. Oh, these are actually awesome. These were something I did towards the end of my playthrough of the game. And I wish you could queue into like an online mode that would just cycle through these different modes, because they are random, goofy fun, and you don't really have to take it too seriously, but I would definitely play this with friends. Also, I enjoyed the online play. Now, I'm going to be very specific about this. I enjoyed versing players online. Rallies get intense, and then learning from the real players is just really exciting part of the game. It has its problems, which I'm going to talk about shortly. However, it does segue us into what I didn't like about this game. Now, this section is longer and likely will be for all video reviews. And it's not because I want to complain about the game, but because I feel that it's important for me to provide ideas or solutions to the things I do not enjoy. I don't want to sit here and just complain meaninglessly. I feel that if there's something I dislike, I should put forward an idea or a solution so I don't just seem like a grumpy, angry bum. Starting with Adventure Mode. Yay! Calling it an adventure feels really generous. It's more like a situation mode. So it has like a hint of story, which is that Daisy is sick. They know there's some like magic fruit or golden apple from Minecraft. But while doing that, they get turned into babies. There is a weird monster, and then you join a tennis academy because, that'll do it. Then, in a gameplay sense, what this consists of is 2 hours of tutorials where you will explore this tennis academy that is visually alive, but feels very meaningless while you complete random mini games that are barely connected to actual tennis, and then learn about the mechanics of the game. I definitely feel like the tutorial is important, but it does not need to take that long. Holy moly, it took really long. Then, after you slug through that, you have 30 minutes of genuinely fun and creative tennis matches and boss fights. These aren't groundbreaking, but I at least felt like these were better than what I was given before. But unfortunately, by that point, I had slugged through so much filler that I was not really satisfied. I did not feel rewarded, and it really bummed me out. But here's the thing. There was a glimmer of something amazing here. During the story, you're in this ice dungeon section, and you need to get to the end. So by doing so, you navigate through this little dungeon area, and throughout it, you enter little tennis matches against these monsters to create paths and get through. I really liked this section. I thought it would be perfect if the adventure mode lent into this more. So then I thought, make this an RPG. Replace combat with quick tennis matches, where you either need to beat an opponent or reduce enemy HP through fever shots or just getting scored on. You could then level up various stats to focus on different builds, collect the different rackets, collect items or trophies that might give you bonuses, because when you have a single player mode like this, let the player go a bit crazy and feel strong through playtime. In the adventure mode, they actually give you XP. You can level up. But I don't understand why. You have to complete a set amount of challenges regardless. So it's not like I can be under or over leveled. I am just leveled. But this mechanic is here for some reason. It just felt like they could have put a little bit more adventure into this adventure mode. Especially when a lot of the new assets feel like they're being used in the adventure mode and not seen anywhere else. I have to be honest, the adventure mode disappointed me. Some people will say that it's not a big deal and that nobody plays the adventure mode. I disagree. If you are going to package this in the game, it is the first mode you can select. Full price game. I would like something that has a little bit more sustenance to it. You might disagree, and that's completely okay. I just think there was so much potential here. Moving on from that, we have the tournament mode. This is a minor gripe, but I just found it a bit annoying that there was no difficulty adjusting the tournaments they give you. The rallies with the NPCs can feel a little bit drawn out. I thought it was interesting that other modes give you difficulty scaling. Even when I advanced to the star tournament, I didn't feel like there was much difficulty there. It's a minor gripe, but noticeable. Also, would be nice to be able to like have different rackets throughout it, so I'm not just kind of stuck with the same build for a bunch of matches. But like I said, small gripe, nothing major. My final gripe. Okay, here we go. This is my final piece of what frustrates me about this game. Online. Now, before I said I liked online matches, and that's true, but I feel like the online should be the heart of this game. For so many players, it probably was. It was probably the reason they bought it, was to jump online and play some bloody tennis, but it feels so under-prioritized. You have singles with fever rackets, singles with no fever rackets, doubles with fever rackets, and doubles with no fever rackets. That is it. Besides like the online rooms you can play with friends. I'm purely talking about playing with the public, random matches, the ranked mode, get on the leaderboard, right? That's it. Those 4 modes. You also can't even queue with a friend for doubles without doing an online room and having 2 other friends to join. Which is insane! Because everyone would want to do that. I actually struggle to fact check this, but I do believe this was the same thing with Mario Tennis Aces, and then ages later when the online was pretty dead, they added that feature. So, in what world would they not add this at launch? But anyway, that's not even my biggest problem. The online feels just so meh. Now, here's what I would have loved, and I think this would have been incredible. Splatoon it. One of my favorite things with playing Splatoon is when you launch in, you're in this hub world, right? There's players around you, there's NPCs, there's life, there's ambience. You've got this beautiful tennis academy courtyard with the stadium arena in the background, which is in the adventure mode. Let me enter online and walk around that academy. Let me see other people online and challenge them to matches of tennis. Or let me queue into the singles court or the doubles court. Give me a profile to customize. Let me have titles and unlock banners. Give me weekly tournaments or tourneys I can enter as well. But imagine that's so... you load into a match and you see someone's banner and title. Maybe it says like Curvy Ball Queen. They've got 10,000 matches with the Rosalina and that stupid curve racket that I hate. That personality, the longevity, it feels like you have a presence online. I hope my explanation makes sense, because right now it felt like such a missed opportunity, and I still hope they show the online side a bit more love with minor updates like they have been doing with Mario Kart World, just to make sure that we're getting the most out of it and it's not just going to die out and be really hard to find online matches again without using a Discord. But man, they had so much potential here. Okay. Let's bring it all together. Mario Tennis Fever succeeds where it matters most. The gameplay is fun. It's accessible without being shallow. The Fever rackets add personality and strategy. Trial Tower and Mix It Up are genuinely enjoyable, but Adventure Mode lacks depth. Tournament Mode lacks challenge. And the online lacks love and the expansion it deserves. There is a great game here. Just feels like it stopped short of being amazing. Here is my final grade. Our scale goes from D to S. D being the lowest of the lows, and S being a legendary title. I give Mario Tennis Fever a B. Thanks for watching.